everybody. Back at it again with another YouTube video. That was awful. I'm here with Sophie Startrup one more time. Woohoo! Round of applause. So as everyone is aware, I did an interview with her many months ago. God, it's been literal months. And obviously, judging by the form, you guys have a lot of questions about how Heartstrings is going and all that stuff. But before we get into all of that, Sophie, how are you?
I am hungry. I am eating spaghetti.
So real, I haven't even eaten breakfast until like...
Girl, you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm good, trust. I just haven't eaten breakfast yet. It's just something about me, like I can't eat in the morning because then my stomach hurts. I just need to... It's a genetic thing, trust me.
That's fine. It happens.
Yeah, for sure. But anyways, I think we should just... Ew, what the hell? Jesus, I just stuttered like crazy. I think we should start asking the questions. Of course, you know how this goes. 30 questions per video, yada yada. Thankfully, I have picked 7 questions from the Google Doc or Google Form, whatever it's called. I can't really think right now. To ask. And you know what? That makes my life so much easier. So I think we should start doing that right now. So,
Okay.
these 2 first questions, I'm a little biased, but these are from my friends. Oh my god.
Oh god.
Yeah, I know.
It's fine. Nepotism.
Oh god, are you good?
Of nepotism.
Okay. Anywho, this question is from my friend Trashy on YouTube, and he asked, how is development going? Also, what is the hardest part of developing a game for you?
Okay, so development's going slightly slower. A lot of stuff has been happening in real life. Well, people know that I do have a lot of problems when it comes to the monetary stuff, but it particularly got worse in January. It's a joke between Chilean adult people, that January is like the objectively worst month for any adult person. And I now finally understand why. I agree. It's awful. Remove January from the adult calendar, please.
For sure. It's the same way over here in America. Like, January...
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, January is literally... I like to joke with my friends, the hell month of the year. It's like the Monday of the year. It's so awful.
Oh god, no.
There's barely any holidays. It sucks ass. It's literally just you're cold, you're wet, you're tired, and you just have to go to work and slave away. It's bad.
Here in Chile, it's particularly bad because everything rises in prices, and there's like very few people who actually want to I don't know how to explain it, but for the business side, for the economics. So everything is more expensive. There's less stuff to do. This is the rise of the scam job applications thing. So it's just awful for everyone. This is also when, at the very least in Chile, it's actually summer here. This is also when bugs like cockroaches start to appear the most. So.
Oh, right. And that's actually so interesting. Like, I forget that we live in, like, completely different, like, sometimes completely different areas. So, like, right over there is, like, hot. And over here is, like, cold as shit.
It's over 100 Fahrenheit. Please kill me. I want to die.
No,
Jokingly.
Yeah, joking, guys, we're kidding.
Yeah. Okay, so I didn't answer the other one. It's going slower. On top of that, I'm actually pregnant, so it is also going slower. I have to go to doctor appointments. I am overall more tired. So a lot of stuff that, happens mixes with real life. But we're still going on. And yeah. As for the other question, what's like the hardest part of game development? Time. Time. I technically speaking, I can make the assets for the game myself. For example, I do know how to 3D model. I know how to compose music. I know how to write. I know how to direct. The problem is I don't have time for that shit. That's the hardest part. At least right now, it's the time. I don't have time. Nobody has time. January is terrible.
For sure. Like, I think everyone is like going at 100 miles a minute. And also, let's not graze over that. A bun in the oven, you know what I mean? That sounds stressful, I'm pretty sure.
Sadly, due to my condition, I do have a lot of disabilities. It's not just the autism. I also like talking it with PC with friends. I do have a problem in my central nervous system. It's something that I recently decided to open up about publicly. But it does happen that sometimes I can be either half paralyzed or completely body paralyzed. I do need a wheelchair every now and then, but it is it a lot of the episodes start to become worse during pregnancy. I believe it's probably because of like hormonal changes, but yeah, it's just been complicated in a lot of stuff.
No, I feel you. And like I deal with something similar. I don't know the correct medical term. It's not similar, rather it's kind of just like I have health anxiety. So sometimes it can appear out of nowhere and the panic attacks are bad to the point where sometimes it literally feels like I can't walk too. So I sort of understand what you go through. I sort of don't, but I'm still empathetic in your circumstance. And I genuinely hope that everything that is going on with you, it gets like better or just gets a little easier. You know what I mean?
I ironically think it will be easier after the baby's born. I know that everyone is like, oh, it's so complicated. But like, if my body is okay to do things, I mean, it's not going to be okay, obviously. I just gave birth. But I mean, like, the episodes, the disabilities. If that comes down, just the episodes. If the autism part comes down, if the nervous system thing comes down, it's going to be so much easier. Even with the baby, at the very least now I can hold the baby tight and just hug them, and that's going to be a comfort.
That's so sweet. No. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Well. Damn! That was a yawn. Jeez. Oh god, it's coming back.
You okay?
Yeah, no, I'm just yawning. Hold on. Okay, it went away. Anyways, thank you for answering that question. The second question is from my boyfriend. His name's
Jippy.
Yes, his name's Vamp, Violet Vamp. He's a music producer. I love him. Whatever. That's not the point. So he asks, do you see yourself developing any other games or projects besides Heartstrings in the future?
I would love to. I love game development. The problem is the money. But if I could actually make like game directing specifically, I love game directing. If I can make game directing literally anything, just like maybe the background direction, the character direction, voice acting direction. Technically, I am graduated to voice act direct. It's a very specific thing, but I do have that. I am technically graduated from that class. Just so happens that I never finished college, so I do have experience doing that. I know a lot about directing specifically. If I could work off like any of that, I would be happy. Any game project, it doesn't even have to be my own. I just genuinely love game development. It's always been a thing that I loved, and well, it sucks that it's like an unconventional job, you know? But if I could, I would.
Over here in the States, I feel like any job, especially where I live specifically, artists are needed everywhere, especially like regarding like video games and all that, because I feel like over the years, video games have started to become less of a thing to, you know, oh, that does nothing for us and yada yada, to something that actually, you know, contributes to society. Like a little hot take, but I feel like video games can generally help people regarding mental health, regarding, you know, escaping like a hard situation, you know, certain things like that. Just like
Not only that, but like video games are currently being used as a way to teach students in college about how certain work it is. For example, I don't want to mention the specifics, but I do remember one class. Again, I don't want to say who took the class or how I know this. I know one class that makes classes about airplanes, uses a game. I know exactly the game as a way to teach the students how the inners of the engine inside of airplane work. So teachers are using video games as a way to, I guess, live the experience firsthand without actually having to go to a physical place, which allows for online teaching a lot more, and it can actually create a lot of good professionals.
Yeah, like I remember in high school, I had a computer science class for some reason. They just gave that to me for whatever, I don't even know why, but we actually used Minecraft education mode for learning about code and stuff. So I think that's really cool. You know what I mean, education wise. The next question that he also asked is, did you have any other ideas for the game at first?
I had many. Some of them were discarded. For example, Meikawa's original appearance was discarded, mostly because I felt like she was too soft. Like I always wanted her to have this like cute exterior, but in the interior is kind of like different. However, the first design was way too cute on the exterior. Ironically, the current design of May was made to feel like she's faking being cute or like she's trying too hard, you know? That's like the current design of May. That's what we wanted to go for. However, the original design was cute without trying to be cute, you know? It was genuinely cute. She looked cute. She looked perfect. I don't know. I really adore her, and I kind of felt bad for even thinking that she would be the victim, so I had to change that design. However, her original design is currently being used as her child version. So if you see my channel, the community post, you will notice that at some point I published a drawing of young Fumeko, young Hisoka, and a young girl that nobody knew who she was. That was child Meikawa.
That's cool.
And that's her original design. Yeah, I'm going to show it to you actually. I'm going to. I have it like right here. Hold on. And concept art. Hold on, I think I have it here. Okay. I would say to not show it in the video because I want people to actually look it up.
Yeah.
But I'm going to show it to you here.
Yeah, I'll probably like have like a little card somewhere. Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, her eyes were also like. She does have a mix of blue and yellow eyes. And if you think the dress doesn't fit anything, that's because it doesn't. It's made to be like that. Meikao absolutely hated being a cute girl.
Of course, yeah.
She was way more tomboyish. The world destroyed it.
Society couldn't handle that yet, you know what I mean?
Society couldn't handle young Meikawa being a bit more tomboyish. It kind of sucks. I do have a lot of like I don't know. I see Meikawa's young design. I'm kind of like, my child, what have I done to you?
No, that's a good thing. You have to traumatize your characters for the story.
Yeah. What pretty design I make always ends up being like the most traumatized one. I'm gonna show you something that is in coffee. So I have to show you something. You cannot show it, but I'm going to show it to
I'm not
you.
showing anything. Like I said, I'll put like a little card.
I mean, I am going to show it eventually, but not now.
No, of course.
This is you can guess who these people are.
Yeah, for sure. You posted the
Look at the pink hair one.
Yeah, you posted the pink hair one on the other thingy. Ooh.
She's so pretty. She's so pretty. Why did I make her so pretty? Why did I make her so pretty just to make her suffer? I hate myself. The prettiest design is always the one that suffers the most.
Yes.
She's so pretty.
No, for sure. No, but this is really interesting. I love it. Thank you for answering these questions. Now it's up to the next person. This person's name is Natty. I don't know this person at all. And
okay, hello, Maddie.
Yeah, hello, Natty. I don't know what pronouns they use, so I'm just gonna use they, them. Yeah, we're woke, whatever. They asked, What is one thing you like about Heartstrings?
Difficult to just choose one. I love the game product. I guess it's the amount of double meaning a lot of things have. For example, I was actually talking about this with one of the volunteers the other day. Every color in the design has a meaning.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the hair and the eye color are connected to the people who influenced a certain important decision in a character's life. It's not like the color changes, just like a design aesthetic.
Right.
For example, Hisoka's purple eyes. I'm not going to show the second image that I showed Sona yet because I'm planning to make it for another video. But you can guess who in this picture has purple hair.
Yeah, wow, I can see.
You can guess there's a lot of stuff going on. For example, the red hairs are in love with Mei, so that's Yumi and Hisoka. And wouldn't you know, Fumako also has red eyes, but that's for a different reason. Somewhat related. Also, Mei's family is the red family. It's like red is like the color of the company. This is a spoiler, but you can guess that red. That was also thought of. There's also the thing, for example, there's character who that's like Hiroshi. Hiroshi has blue hair and blue eyes. That's because the character is full of himself. And then wouldn't you notice, Mei has blue eyes. I wonder if that has something to do. I wonder if Kaori and Yumi having yellow eyes has something to do with Mei's new persona being blonde. I wonder.
Jeez, I wonder. No, but genuinely, like, it's really cool how you incorporated, like, your lore into character designs. That's something I really enjoy when it comes to storytelling and just overall anything that has to do with characters. Really nice. I might have to steal that. Just kidding, I won't.
It's not the only thing, of course. There's also, for example, many people ask me over the time why are like the gameplay characters chibi. You know, people be comparing them like to Gacha Life and stuff like that. But no, there's actually a real reason. The game has two art styles, anime and chibi style. Chibi style, well, firstly, it's a lot easier to animate a chibi than a whole anime character. It's, for its simplicity's sake, it's a lot better. However, there is a little reason as to why they are chibi. Essentially, for the player, every time you see a chibi, it's like, oh, see the chibi, see the chibi. And that's because you're playing from Fumeko's perspective. She does have this kind of like dissociation that what she's doing is not that bad because nobody even matters anyways. Everything is just a game and I'm the protagonist. I mean, she is, but she doesn't know. Nah, she's just full of herself. So the chibis are like a way that she has to see this world in like a very childish way. Fumeko is also the youngest character. Yeah, she has this like very, I wouldn't say, it's like she's lying to herself as saying that these things are just like a video game to her. Not exactly a video game, but like, you know, it's not as important. So that is going to change eventually, depending on the ending you play. But it is something that we thought of from the beginning, that there's visual cues to make the player understand Fumeko's point of view. It does make her somewhat of an unreliable narrator, and we do have plans to play with that. Every minigame in the game has a double use for it. For example, you can calm down Fumeko's stress by playing a minigame, like a basketball minigame. However, you can use that very same minigame as a basketball to, for example, cover a body with a piece of like clothing and then throw it to a safe place, like a basketball ball. So almost every game that I want to add has like multiple ways you can use it, and on top of that, most of the minigames will be used at a very specific point in True Ending. And True Ending is a very important game in game ending. It's the most difficult game ending to have, and it is the true ending. So essentially almost every minigame is going to have like at the very least 3 different uses in different contexts for it. So yeah, every single thing in the game has like a double thing, and that it by itself, game uses the term Yandere because it's like it's cute on the outside and sadistic on the inside, kind of like that, the Yandere concept. I wanted to use that very same concept on the game itself. So on the outside, it looked like a cute chibi game, like. However, when you actually start to care for the characters, you actually discover the entire thing they have. So it's like a play in the play in the.
Hello. Did you know that there is stuff you can buy on the internet? Stuff like Sophie Stardrop commissions? Click the link below to check out Sophie Stardrop's Ko-fi or VGen for awesome commissions. For example, look at the illustration she has done for Sona Brew. Whoa! Look at your host. What a silly fellow. You too can get a commission like this. Make your way down to the description of this video to get your grimy Cheeto-filled fingers all over your potential commission.
Sophie is not responsible for the death of your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, or if your house burns to the ground. Sophie is also not responsible for the destructions of millions once your purchase goes through. Help me. I can't take this anymore. Sona has me held at gunpoint. Please.
Do not compare making a series to a game. It's very different.
Oh, for sure, yeah. But thank you for answering that question. Now it is the next question. I should have really added a pronoun thing, but anywho, this question comes from this person called Starmao, and they asked, after Heartstrings, would you make any other games in different genres?
Yes, I want to make horror. Come on, you little baby.
Is that your cat?
Yeah, he's been a baby again. But yeah, I would make games. There is one project that we put to a stop. Mostly because I was too busy with other stuff. I wanted to finish it in October of last year. It's a game project called Wash Up. It's not too complicated to finish it, but honestly, there was just too much going on. And to this day, I don't think I have a main reason as to why I would want to continue that. The only reason is that maybe I could test the animation program that I want to test with the team for Heartstrings with that game. It could be a good reason to stop having dust in that project. But yeah.
I never knew you worked with on other stuff. You mentioned it briefly, yeah, but it's I never knew it was that. I never knew you had that much experience.
Since it's not going to be something I focus probably years, it was a relatively simple project. One day I had a nightmare where I was inside of a bathroom and the place was slowly drowning me with monsters outside.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of pictured this very simple kind of Blood Money aesthetic game. It was also because Blood Money was popular, where there's a character in the bathroom that is taking a shower, and you have to protect this character from monsters. It's a point and click type game, and we had a couple of monsters. We had a couple. We in fact I do have the background. We have some base for program the code. Essentially it's the same team as Heartstrings. We already have a song, and that's it. And technically speaking, we could finish the project. It's not too difficult. It's just a single room, a couple of animations, that's about it. I was planning on finishing this project in a month. It's a very simple game. But again, stuff happened and I would rather focus on Heartstrings. But if it came to, testing the programs that we're going to use for Heartstrings, I could think about finishing the game. So the entire thing of the game is that it's just a room and you have to survive for as long as you can, and eventually the character will drown out. Think of it as Pumpkin Panic. I don't know if you know the game.
I have some memory.
It's the one game that I think Cub Scouts.
Bitch, I set it down the table and opened it, bitch. Wait a minute, Cartman? Yeah.
I just sent you that picture of Pumpkin Panic, so you kind of have this idea of what game it was.
Oh, jeez, I'm yeah, no, I have never heard about this. That's interesting.
No, it's a cool game. It's a short game, and it's the kind of game that you can speedrun. So it does have a timer. So I was thinking on that about this game, but instead of speedrunning, it's just how long can you survive. The entire game was just a metaphor for letting your problems accumulate like water. So that's what I took from the nightmare. And that's about it. Honestly, a very simple concept.
I have something similar that, as you know, I'm working on my own little project, but I won't mention it so much here because this interview is about you. But I'm actually voice acting for one of my friend's characters. the series is called Temko. I mentioned this briefly in other interviews, I think. I voiced one of the characters. Her name's Sammy, and she's just like, the best way I can describe her, think of me except I'm still 15 years old and I curse so much, like I'm written by Busy Pop. Yeah, basically. That's her whole thing. And she's also like really cool though.
Even more than you are already.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. That's so like, just imagine every single time you're talking to me, it's like I just spam it and I spam it and I spam it. It's like when I have those stuttering episodes that I just keep spamming curse words over and over and over because I'm so frustrated with myself. Yeah, that's basically her dialogue. But it's fun. It's really cool. I think people would like it a lot. You're welcome.
I hope so.
I'm saying you're welcome to my friend as if she's like watching. You're welcome. Alrighty, thank you for answering that question. This next question is from this person called It's Links, and they asked, what's your experience making a Yandere themed game? Do you have any advice for people who want to make their own video game?
So about specifically Yandere or specifically any kind of game. So for specifically Yandere, if you want the protagonist to be Yandere, just don't beat yourself around too much with like the definition of Yandere, because like a lot of people being like, oh, your character is not Yandere, it's Yangire. I actually studied where the term Yangire comes from. It's just an online term that people started to use as a way to fight back against this character being Yandere. Actually, all Yandere labels are like, every like dated label is just something made from the fans. It's not like an actual Japanese thing. It just so happens that sometimes some Japanese media use tsundere and yandere, mostly for marketing and advertisement, but it's not like a concept inside of the story. So don't beat yourself around over it. It's literally just a fun concept made for fans. So as long as you have some genuine care for it, then you'll be fine. When it comes to overall game development, don't let people fool you. The part that takes the most time from game development is planning and asset creation. Code is extremely important. However, the part that takes objectively the longest to create are always the assets. People being like, oh, you're not making builds fast enough, you're not writing code and stuff. Game development is also making assets, because if you don't, you'll end up with like an asset fest. Just taking random assets from the internet and putting them together to a game. And people have already done that in the past, are not very liked. The end result is not very good because the visual identity is completely lost.
People tend to forget that Heartstrings is indie. It's an indie project. It's not like you're in a full company where you could like have hundreds of people working on the same thing and we're creating things so fast. Like it's a small group of people.
I mean, it depends. For example, there are some indie projects that have been founded and they do have this like thing. It depends. In my case, Heartstrings is, we do have a lot of people, but a lot of those people cannot constantly work on it because it's all volunteer work. We don't have, not even I can fully dedicate myself to the game because I have to earn money, in other ways. That's just the sad reality of being an adult. And of course, it can be a little hard to understand that from the perspective of the audience. However, I do try to be as honest as I can. I'm not exactly very good at expressing myself. I am autistic, so I try, but it's always complicated. But yeah, it's a lot of the times it's more about the assets and the planification of the game rather than just making builds fast, because you could make builds fast with just grabbing some random assets from the internet, but eventually they will just do more harm than good, and I would rather focus on making the hard parts first and then having the rest be easier down the line. That's how I work.
Wow, like I'm just like amazed. Like honestly, like the thing that you're doing and it's the fact that you can still keep this project alive while still like doing other stuff that is necessary. That takes genuine skill, I feel. Because for me, I think I would get extremely overwhelmed. That's just me, though. I can't really say that for any other person.
I am. Well, I just don't show it.
Yeah. Oh, man. I think...
But yeah, when it comes to like organization, it's been messier than at other stages in my life. That's probably because I'm an independent adult now. And because a lot of stuff happened. Luckily, there's not been like any major events. The last major event, it wasn't even that bad. We just couldn't pay rent, so Pink Eye had to sell his computer. That was like the large major event. It happened, I think, 2 days ago. But it's not like a major life-changing event. Eventually, we will be able to afford something else. But we didn't have something like major, big, bad happenings. It's not like other times. We are a bit more stable, even if we're not in a good position. So, I've been in situations like this before, and I try to just organize everything as best as I can. Try to organize myself. It's a lot more difficult now that I'm pregnant, but I do try to. And admittedly, a lot of the times, whenever I feel like I can't anymore, my team is there to back me up. I honestly have no idea how I managed to find the team that I have. I do appreciate all of them so much. I tell them almost that, like, I probably got them bored by telling them just how much I adore them. They're also talented, and they're using their time on like something that I started. It's an amazing feeling, and that's why I try to treat every volunteer as best as I can. I can't always, it's life. I can't always be at my best, I guess, mood, but
people have to start being more patient and acknowledge the fact that you're at the end of the day, you are just a human being. Your team are human beings. You guys aren't like machines being like code, asset, yes, dialogue, voice act, yes, sing.
I wish I was.
Like
I wish I could.
It doesn't work that way. So I feel like people really need to like, chill out, relax,
I mean, I can't blame them. They've been through a lot. That's why I try to give, reasons. A lot of the times, people have doubted me in the past. Surprisingly, while there are a couple of people that still hate me on the daily, surprisingly, there's been a lot of people who hated on me in the past and then came to apologize because I realized I was telling the truth. Essentially, time spoke for my actions. And precisely because I was always honest about the stuff that we were doing, well, some people hate because, haters be haters. A lot of the people who were more like, they were mostly like hate scared, They were scared and that's why they hated, like an angry kitten that has been hurt too many times. That's how I saw them. That's why I never told them anything, because like I just figured that they would eventually come around, and they did. So I guess I was right.
That's how it is majority of the time, because I feel like people thought your game was like a scam at first whenever like you were saying about it. I don't blame them either.
Have
you seen all these people, all these artists claiming that they're homeless and shit, and they're not actually homeless, they're just greedy and want money? It's very obvious. Yeah, like people would feel that type of way.
People believe me because I have very clear symptoms of PTSD.
No, but
my PTSD symptoms speak for me.
Of course, bro. Honestly, that's really good news that people are starting to come around. That makes me happy, and I feel like that makes your team happy as well.
I mean, I try to avoid talking about it, but I think they notice. Nah, my team is so kind and amazing. I just love the word kind.
Oh, that's so sweet. I really hope as soon as like I start like skyrocketing in my own thing that I get like a team like that. I really don't want to have toxic people. I'm scared.
The best way to have people in your team that are good people is to ironically have a lot of experience with bad people. So because I had experience with bad people, I've been able to feel like, okay, you could be a good fit. Okay, maybe you're not a good fit. Some people just left, and that's fine. But I always try to be respectful to them. I may not always be perfect, I do acknowledge that, but I try my best to always be as good as I can. Um, so I just try to treat them with respect, you know. Um, Things at the beginning were a lot messier than now. Now we have kind of like a thing that we do. Um, so it's a thing that you just have when you have experience with stuff like that. And I don't know. I like to think that the bad shit that went through in my life is a way that I have to make the current thing better, you know? And so far, the team has supported each other at moments of need. Some of them are friends. Some of them talk to each other in private. They're like, "Hey, you know, you good?" Then they just talk to each other, and if one of them cannot speak, the other one will be like, "Oh, you know, Sophie, this happened. So can you be more understanding?" I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, sure. You need some time? Yeah, it's fine." Some people have needed months of recovery due to personal stuff that I don't feel comfortable sharing because they trusted those things to me. And I've been just told them, hey, if you need a break, just take a break. You're not obligated to be here. You're volunteering. So if you can't, just can't. You know, I should be the one that is like thanking you every single day
Yeah.
because you're pouring your time. Yes.
No, of course.
I owe you my life.
I owe you my soul. I owe you my money. I owe you everything.
No, yeah, I do owe my team a lot. A lot. So the very least that I could be is to be a somewhat good person, I guess.
Okay, well, thank you for answering that question, and thank you for the person who asked that question. Thank you so much. This next question is from Duckman. Literally, that's how he said I could pronounce it. And he says he has a few questions. I'm very grateful that they added more than one question because I was like scrambling. I was like, what do I ask? Okay, so the first question, we're gonna go down like the list. The first question is, where do you mainly get your character design ideas from? Because I really like the characters.
Ooh. Sometimes it's just pop in my head.
Yep. I feel like
Yeah.
isn't that with like every artist though?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I kind of just draw them in like sketches, then I connect one thing to another. Specifically, whenever I think about creating characters, I think about their backstory first. I'm the kind of person that first has like maybe a base idea of who they are, then makes a backstory, and based on that backstory, I add like certain details. Sometimes I start by the design, but rarely that design stays as the final one. Like that happened with Mikawa, for example. Well, I don't know. I just think of the story, and then like my mind just imagines the kind of character that would embody that story, and yeah, then you have the characters. It's that complicated.
Of course, man. The second question is, how do you stay motivated on this project? And if you do get demotivated, how do you recover?
Oof, interesting question. I stay motivated a lot of the time. I don't know how to explain it. It's not just my team, but my team does play a big part of why I stay motivated. I just love my characters. I love the story that I'm making, and I don't know. I just start to think about all these cool concepts and ideas and situations. I guess I'm just hyper fixated on my own characters. I'm using the autism hyper fixation to stay motivated. Nah, but there has been times where sometimes I just feel like I don't want to do this. I don't want to continue this. Not because I actually want to quit, but just because I'm tired of like other shit in real life that is happening. And I just don't have energy. I guess I do consider talking to the team and just checking some stuff to be kind of like my relax time. So maybe a good way to continue motivation is to do something small, something very simple to you. Just have, I guess, a life outside of your project. I know that may sound like I'm saying like you don't have a life, but in my case, I have an extremely busy, eventful life. You can guess. I'm pregnant. I have a husband. A lot of the times, I just want my life to be less eventful. I just want a simple, normal life. I feel like every year of my like a different movie. So much shit happens in the span of a year in my life that sometimes I just want to sit down, see the team, what they're doing, and I'm like, okay, this one peaceful moment of the day I can dedicate to this. And sometimes when I just don't want to do anything, I will just have a way to disconnect. In my case, because I'm married, I go with my husband. We just cuddle and kiss and pat pats. And I guess that also comes from the fact that we are a very healthy couple. So when it comes to that, Pink Cat always is telling me that I have great story ideas. It's always motivating me. So I guess having a support group that also supports your ideas is also a thing. And in the case of Pink Cat, he wants me to be happy and to just do the things I want to do instead of just doing whatever for money. He says that I will probably feel a lot better if I can only focus on the game for a bit. But yeah, I guess just don't burn yourself with your project.
What is your rough outline for what needs to be complete to call the game finished?
I can't pinpoint what I need. The problem is that I actually have to write it down. So I do actually I've been working on this doc for a while now, and I haven't been able to finish it because it's a very big doc. It's I guess you could say like a to-do list of stuff that the game needs for full completion. I can't add every single thing, but for example, I already finished everything the writing team needs to complete the game. For example, I've written down every single ending the game has as like a concept. I took note of everything that needs to happen during these endings for the ending to trigger. Most of these endings are just variations of other endings that depending on how you play, you can trigger a very same cutscene but in like a very different way. I have every single day of the week already in like notes of like what needs to happen. I have the entire week of regular gameplay and the entire week of true ending. I have all the dialogues necessary for, like, at the very least, the concept of the dialogue necessary for true ending, regular gameplay, and all the endings. Technically speaking, I think that tells you how many endings the game has planned to have at this very moment. Yeah. I do have all the names of the endings.
God, I cannot wait to, I'm so excited to play your game, because I know, one of the builds, is still out there, but when I actually, when the mechanics go into it, oh my god, I'm just so excited, I'm sorry.
Have the game overs, so they consider game overs to be a different ending. I am right now just making, adding up all the endings that the game has. Just tell you exactly. Currently, we have 26 planned endings.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Just variations of one very similar ending. But you need to do some specific things. For example, without spoiling too much, this is the simplest ending, I guess. A regular ending can happen on a Monday, where let's just say that Hisoka and Mei are going to the computer lab to play a game together. Okay? So, you go to the computer lab, and the idea is to kill Mei by making the computer explode on her. So, you could do this by... Mei has, this very specific computer that she likes to play in, and she's very vocal about it. She has these, very specific things. You can know which computer it is before you even play it. And, for example... you could choose to search a very specific item, for example, gasoline to set it on fire, or you can choose a different kind of thing, oil, for example. So the difference between oil and gasoline is that oil is like a conductor. So of course, because it's made computer, she's going to use it. So when the computer overheats, she's going to be set on fire. That's one ending. But if you use gasoline is a lot more flammable. This means that the explosion is going to be bigger, and you're going to kill both Mei and Hisoka.
Wow. So you're saying that Hisoka could be killed, basically.
He can be killed in many ways. There's multiple endings where you kill them both. one of the things that we wanted to explore in Heartstrings. There's an ending where Hisoka murders Fumeko. There's 2 endings, I think, and one of them he gets helped by another character.
Oh my god! That's dark!
That's the point of a sandbox, to just be able to do whatever you want. And some endings can be triggered by just letting a character see you doing something suspicious and not justifying it, because that character is going to tell the other characters to be careful of you, and when the thing happens, they are already like careful, so that's a different ending. That's why I say it's like a variation of another ending. So that all of those things are already written down. So that's why there's 26 endings at this moment. We could have more eventually, but right now this is like it. And then, you know, I have all the events for Friday in True ending. I have the events for Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. The same with regular gameplay. Regular gameplay is where when you're going to find all the ways to eliminate May. True ending is an interesting route because it differs from all the others. You have to know what to do, essentially. That's the part that is inspired, for example, by the game Kindergarten. In that game, you have to replay the same day multiple times as a way to learn what the other characters are up to and know how to maneuver them to get what you want. That's how you play the game, and I do find that to be very interesting. So in this case, True Ending does have a lot of hints of what you have to do next, but you need to know, for example, you're going to be given the hardest versions of each minigame, and you need to know what you're going to do. You need to know some information about the characters that you can learn in like other runs. Essentially, if you pay a lot of attention the first time you play, like the first run, you already have all the information you need for True Ending. But I know a lot of people are not going to get that. As such, we made the system so you would play the week multiple times. The thing is, to not make it boring, we decided to implement some programming stuff. This is why the new animation system is something that we've been struggling for months. Essentially, I made a video like months ago talking about like the NPCs programming and how we're going to implement a seed system. Essentially, you can get different kinds of students, and those students has like personality traits that they may or may not do something that day. You, for example, maybe you get a lot of students that like to be outside, or maybe you get a lot of students that like to be in the library, you know? You can choose. It's generated by a seed, like a Minecraft world generation, but this time it's just like a seed for the students. And we do want to give visual cues as to which student is what, but you need to pay attention in your different runs. So, for example, maybe a social student will have like a color bracelet, but you need to you won't be given that information. That's just something like you can choose to ignore or not. But if you don't, like, if you pay attention, you will notice that certain personality traits are associated with certain physical things for the students. So the F student and M student may change in design-wise. Not exactly design, but like they will have some accessories and stuff. And that's just some of the many things that we have planned and some of the many things that I have to add to this document. So I do have a document of all the stuff that we need for the game. It's just still in the process. So yes, there is a planned thing because there's just a lot to do.
That was like so much information, and it was really, really, really cool, and I think people will generally like to hear more, but we can't spoil too much because you have to play the game. I think that's it for all those other people. For all the other people that asked the questions. Now it's my question. So this is more so like a personal one. It's not so personal that it's private, but you know, outside of Heartstrings and all that. So as many of us are aware, you're about to be a mom. My question to you is, do you feel like becoming a mom is going to impact how your audience views you?
I don't know. If it doesn't already, then I guess it won't in the future.
I'm just asking because, you know, like a lot of YouTubers, especially like what you're doing, I feel like it's very unique that you are a mom and you are, you know, working on a game. So that's the only reason why I asked that question, to be honest.
I mean, I don't think it really affects much. I mean, obviously it's going to affect me, my personal life, but when it comes to how people see me, I don't know if it will change much. I probably already heard like every single thing on like the internet from both haters and people who follow me. People who follow me are like, oh, I think you're going to be a great mom. And, you know, haters being like, oh, you're too poor to be a mom.
Oh.
And I probably heard everything from under the sun. So, I don't know. If it didn't change before, then I doubt it'll change now. The only difference is that maybe if I make some live streams, you're going to hear some baby cries in the background.
Oh, poor thing.
I don't know. I don't want to be the kind of person that just drops their entire life just for their children, you know? And I don't think I'm going to be.
Oh, that's
I want
good.
to be the kind of mom that my children can admire once they grow up. Yeah, I'm devoted to my family, but I'm also devoted to myself and what I want. So I need to balance those things, and it's going to be difficult as shit. It's already difficult, but I think it's possible. I like to believe it is.
On that note, that ties in excellently with my next question. And this question is regarding your haters. Do the haters motivate you to keep developing more or like more efficiently?
Oh, my fans motivate me.
Oh, nice.
I wouldn't say fans. Oh god, that's all the very conceited.
No. That's I think that's the correct term. I don't really think. Well, we can call them supporters then.
No, I don't like haters. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, I continued because I pissed people off, but I'm not that kind of person. I'm a softie, I guess you could say.
For me, bro, because I already know, bro. I had with my whole Busy Pop review stuff, yo, I had so many people telling me, there was this one person, oh my god, who said like, oh, you're just using Busy Pop reviews and yada yada, and as soon as I saw that, I deleted it obviously, but just a troll, I responded and I was just like, oh yeah, and guess what? I'm making a third part, and I deleted their comment just so they could see the notification that I said that, but I deleted their shit because, you know, I like messing with people online. Ignorance.
Yeah, you're a race baiter.
I am.
You're a race baiter.
Really am, because it's like, dog. What do you mean? Not get on my comment section talking so ignorantly, and not expect me to have a little fun with it.
I will admit that sometimes I've just abstained myself from doing that. Sometimes I really want to answer that.
Oh, for sure. I guess I'm doing it right now because, you know, I don't really have a major following. Like I said, mentioning my little project, wink, wink, wink. If that starts getting like more traction, of course I'm gonna reel myself back. But in my personal account, nah, bro. I'm a troll. I don't really care. I feel like people on the internet take things way too seriously. Just have fun with it, you know? Unless it gets serious, then don't have fun with it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's go to a lighter-hearted question. So, I know that we've been recently talking about character designs and all that, but how did you come up with the characters' names?
One day they popped in my head.
Yeah, well, you heard it here live. You heard it here, guys. She has superpowers.
I don't know. With some of them, sometimes I just look Japanese baby names. And I like some of them. Then I look what they mean and I'm like, oh yeah, sure.
What's it called? Like, something about... It's like, oh, flower. Oh, how sweet. You search for the definition. Poison ivy. Evil. Dark-hearted. Okay. Oh my god.
It happens a lot more than I want to admit.
Alrighty. Next question. The way we're gonna still be talking about characters and all that because I like more so the story aspect. When you're making your characters and you're making the behaviors of the characters' personalities, do you base it off like real people that you've met in like real life? Because I tend to do that with my characters.
You mean like their personalities?
Yeah, like their personalities, who they are. Because an example would be like, for example, the characters that I make are based off of like, sometimes they're based off of teachers that I met, random people outside that I've met, conversations that we had, and I tend to take those memories and make it into an actual person. So I'm wondering if you do the same with your characters.
I think that I've mentioned this a couple of times before. What I do to make the characters is base it on something I've lived through, then based on something that I've seen from other people, and then base it on something that I want to explore deeper. Like something that doesn't apply to me that I'm just interested in seeing. Just to mention a character, tell me one character and I'll tell you some backstory about them, like their in real life inspirations.
Well, let's talk about the main character, Fumeko.
Fumeko originally was the personality herself was actually inspired by people I dislike. So I wanted to make Fumeko like a clown. So I took a lot of those like edgy things from people that I disliked that I met, and then turned them into like a clown version of like themselves. And that is kind of like why Fumeko is more show-offy than the rest of the characters.
For sure.
So a lot of the people that bother me personally are people that are very kind of show-offy. So I kind of wanted to create this character that to the player is kind of funny and pathetic, and to the other people, while she is kind of cute physically, she's pretty physically. She's also kind of weird. So she thinks she is smooth, but I don't think people suspect a clown would commit murder. That's like her kind of smoothness. So when it comes to that's like the second inspiration, like the inspiration from other people. When it comes to personal inspiration, I like to take things that I don't like about others and how they could apply to me. It's a weird thing that I like to do, but I kind of have a feeling that whenever someone makes a character that is too inspired, they could become kind of like the story's golden child. And I didn't want that to happen to me, so I kind of just add things that I disliked and things that I liked, and things that hurt me, things that I liked. With Fumeko, it was a lot of the backstory is inspired by real life stuff about me. I don't want to spoil too much, but there are a lot of things from Fumeko's background that were inspired by real life experiences of mine, especially when it comes to family stuff. The one character that has like the most inspiration from that is probably Hisoka, but Fumeko also has a bit of that. Fumeko suffered from a lot of like outside and inside trauma, and some of that trauma is something that I was actually inspired specifically by nightmares of things that had happened to me. So for example, one of Fumeko's notes says that she always wears her headband. So there is a reason for that, and it's inspired by a nightmare. Well, multiple nightmares. And those nightmares were inspired by real life scenarios. So I kind of took all of those things and I put them into Fumeko. I've had multiple nightmares with Fumeko, I'll be honest. I had so many. Then, when it comes to something that I want to explore with Fumeko, I guess her like constantly lying to herself. She is lying, but it's content to like justify herself. I did kind of like I like, for example, how they did it in mouthwashing, for example. It's not a direct inspiration, but I kind of saw that and I was like, interesting. Take responsibility. I kind of like that. So there are a couple of things that I want to study for Fumeko as a character. So there's just a lot, and Fumeko does have a side hobby that I'm going to talk about in the game. I mentioned it a couple of times to server, but if you don't know, I'm not going to spoil it. But she does have a hobby that gets acknowledged in the game, and to know more about that hobby, I had to study it. So that's kind of like how it goes, That's how I create a character that both feels personal and at the same time it feels so distant from me. Cool. So I don't see them like my golden child.
Yeah, for me, I use characters and like they're like my babies, I keep them like little, very close, but then sometimes I feel like I write them exactly like how I would act in the situation, and that's why I think my biggest insecurity, especially when I'm writing characters, is that I tend to be like, damn, this situation is sad. I would react this way without thinking, oh crap, this character is completely different from me and completely different from the main character, you know what I mean? So I gotta change dialogue, and it's this whole other thing, you know? So it's really nice how you could, like, make a character so similar yet so different, and that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering that question. The next question is, what is the music inspiration behind Heartstring? Excuse me, I was about to burp. Behind Heartstrings soundtrack.
The inspiration. It's kind of complicated. Mostly, we kind of get inspired by the characters themselves. The characters control the narrative. This is mostly a character-driven game, so character-driven story. So I guess the characters themselves are like inspiration. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, we're like breezing through these questions. What kind of Easter eggs will be in Heartstrings, if any?
We might just add Easter eggs of stuff that we personally like in the team. I do want to add an Easter egg of a series called Dexter, because like I saw it and I was like, oh, this is such cool inspiration. Dexter is a series about a serial killer who is also in the police force. So it's a cool series. My only real problem is that it has too many mature scenes, let's say them, adult scenes. I guess they had to keep the adult audience. But yeah, outside of that, the scenes that are actually just, you know, Dexter, his inner monologue, his thoughts, where the story is going, it's essentially killer who is a policeman who is like searching other killers. So the first season is about him finding this like one killer who seems to be talking to him directly, and it's very interesting. And yeah, there's just it's an interesting series. It didn't have a good ending, but as like a series that you can watch, it's quite an interesting concept.
I never watched that, but I know exactly what you're talking about, and I might have to get into it now.
It's a boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like the gif of like a black man in like a car that is like, I know someone's killed, I just have to prove it.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That comes from Dexter. This guy comes from Dexter.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm aware of what you're saying, but I never like fully watched it. You know what I mean?
that meme is so good. That meme is so good. I love that meme.
Yeah, me too, bro.
And it's better when you know the context. It's even better. So the context is that this guy knows that Dexter is up to some shit, but he just can't prove it.
Yeah. All right.
He's so fun.
Yeah. All right. This next question, again, another semi-personal question. If you could do anything different when starting game development for Heartstrings, what would you do?
What wouldn't I do? I don't know. There's just a lot of things that I would have done differently, specifically when it comes to... At the beginning, I did tell people that if we could earn enough for me to make it a job, you know, working on the game, I would eventually want to pay all of them. And while I still want to do that, the truth is that we never got to the point where, you know, I could fully work on the game to have that extra to pay them. So... well, I always wanted to have that. The truth is that life just had different surprises, I guess. And now I'm going to become a mom. That's going to become a lot more complicated. We still want to do it. It's just that we can't.
I like that you don't really go so personal as well. That's something that's like really good. Dang. Oh my god, I'm so good at interviewing people. Anyways.
There's a lot of other things that I would have done differently. I think, I don't know, there's just a lot of things, but I guess that would be like my biggest, regret, feeling like I can't live to some promises, specifically to my team. Because like, it's one thing that, you know, haters are like, oh, you haven't published like a build. That's like one thing. But another thing is the people who are actively helping, you know? Because like, haters can talk shit, but they're not going to give me anything to actually help me, so... yeah.
Like, all they do is bitch and complain, and then, like, when you try to prove them wrong, or you do prove them wrong, they're like, well, you know, you did this, so... You know, they're like overgrown children.
I just don't... I don't know. because they don't give me anything but trouble, I don't take them that seriously. But when it comes to my people, my team, then yeah, it does hurt me. It hurts me deeply. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like you gotta keep your head up though, you know what I mean? There's always gonna be people, and
I wish life was simpler.
yeah, I know. But I go by this saying, and as soon as I heard this always stuck in the back of my head. No matter what you do, whether you could be doing a charity or killing somebody or doing whatever the hell, no matter what you do, people are always gonna have something negative to say about you. So you might as well just keep it pushing. You shouldn't really care about the opinions of others, because at the end of the day, you're the one who's making the game. And what are they doing? Sitting at home, being nobodies and doing nothing with their lives.
I just don't care as much for them. I guess I directly just don't care about haters. Their job is to hate, and my job is to ignore them.
What do you want for the future of Heartstrings? Like, it could be like, well, to me more specific, like, do you see Heartstrings like being this major game that everyone wants to play, or like an inspiration for other people?
I guess a lot of this game was also made with the perspective that I knew a lot of teen people were going to play it, specifically teen girls and young adults. And one of the things that I did say a lot of, especially in like American cultures, was that a lot of people, especially young women, by young women I mean like, early adulthood, kind of people like me, 21, 22 kind of people, is that a lot of us suffered a lot in life. And, a lot of the times we kind of have this like selfish feeling that the world owes us something because we suffered so much. And this is something that I've seen a lot in both American and Spanish culture. But the thing is, just because a lot of shit happened to you, the world is not going to suddenly make it right in the future. It sucks, and it's a difficult thing to hear. But I think the earlier you understand that concept, the earlier you will be able to move on from those things, because at the end of the day, they are consuming you. At least for me, I felt like I had to accept very early on that a lot of the things that happened to me never had a reason to happen. And by the very same logic, while Fumeko is still a bad person, she does change. She can change. She is able of change. You can change too. And a lot of people, Fumeko is made so Fumeko appeals to like that dark side of your head. Like you know that you're doing bad shit. That's why she's funny. But she also kind of has like a thing that you can relate to. That's what Fumeko's perspective is for, as like an introduction to the character and to the game. That's why Fumeko's perspective is for. So you kind of see that maybe she has like a thing for the world, and maybe you can somewhat relate to that, even if you know that she's batshit crazy. But once you learn where all of that anger and pain started, then yeah, you can see how that ended up developing to the point we are at this point. And none of it made sense. I think no pain makes sense. But we go through it, and sometimes we develop into bad people, and once we're... This is just me being Latina. Honestly, this is like a Latino thing. But like when you're in like the deep end, what's the point of just keep going down or to push up? Because like a lot of people feel like when they are too deep in the rabbit hole, and there's just no point in trying to go back up. You're too much into it. So Fumeko is a character that even if she doesn't like to assume it, she doesn't like to think about it, she does feel like she's too deep into this whole murder thing to even quit. She thinks that there's like no hope, and that's depressing. She's 16. She's a child. Well, not exactly a child, but she's young. Her life is not over, even if she has already ended other people's lives. However, just because she wants to move on, it doesn't mean that all the pain is certainly going to disappear. That is another thing. That's why Hisoka as a character exists as a love interest. Hisoka is someone who wants to change, but also at the same time has this like constant feeling that he's alone, and that, well, it's no secret that Hisoka is also a killer, but he's been trying to stop. He's been trying to get away from that, but he can't, and he can't get away from it by using that very same anger towards himself, it will eventually just explode again. And it will become a cycle of him trying to change and then going back to killing once and over again. So at the end of the day, both of these characters feel like they're too deep into the rabbit hole and don't know what to do until they find each other. And it's like, oh, so we're in the deep rabbit hole, but we're not alone, you know? And that's when they can actually start to fucking heal. And if it's not for them, then at the very least, so they don't hurt more people than the ones they have already hurt before. So yes, even if you've been through a lot, even if you've done bad stuff, you can still stop doing it and improve, even if you cannot erase the damage you've done. And I think that's like an important message. And that message, funnily enough, doesn't come from me being like a bad person. It comes from me being a victim of bad people. That's why I say that Fumeko is inspired by bad people in my life. Because a lot of the times, victims just want the bad people to change. That's my case. Again, as like a victim of very awful people, you know personally what I mean by this. A lot of the times, I didn't even want like revenge. Maybe at some point I wanted it, but I realized that a lot of the things are just things that were just human. There's no objective good or wrong. I was hurt and I never got any justice for it. And at this point, the only thing that I want is for those people to change, to improve, to feel guilty for the things they've done to me and to never repeat them again with other victims. Because at the end, even if they, for example, go to jail for the stuff they've done or just receive some kind of punishment, it won't change the fact that they will potentially do it again. They will have more victims because the core of the problem didn't change. I guess a lot of the idea of Fumeko's and Hisoka's redemption come from that point of view. To just stop the pain. Sure, they will receive punishment. Oh well, more so they can't. It is like a social criticism. Legally, Fumeko cannot receive punishment. It is a fucked up Chilean thing, but if because Fumeko's a minor, there's no like there's like a legal loophole that Fumeko cannot get arrested because she's a minor, but there's no like legal place to send her to, so she can get scot-free even if her victims know she was the killer. And yeah, she will just be let go. It's a fucked up Chilean law thing, and it is like a social criticism that I have, but it is true. And it is a thing that happens. So, if she cannot be punished, and there's nothing that can really stop her from going on, then what's actually going to stop the situation? Well, the situation is going to stop because she herself changed. And she's going to receive punishment by the eternal hell of knowing what she did. So the ending of the game is not going to be a happy ending. She is going to suffer the rest of her life for the things she has done to others. The same way her victims are going to suffer for the rest of their lives because of the things she did. But at the very least, having this like stable, a slightly more stable mindset with Hisoka is something that is going to avoid future victims. So I guess that's where it's going. I don't know. Probably a lot of people don't agree with me in this, and I get it. It's a complicated thing. But then again, redeeming a Yandere character is complicated by itself, so how do you redeem a killer? Either you over-justify them with like a tragic backstory or
Oh man.
And I feel like a lot of people end up falling for like but she's traumatized. She has, I don't know, BPD or something. And I don't want to go through that route. Because like, it undermines what happens to the victims and their families, you know? And that's what I always felt. So I do remember that at the beginning of the development, I was like, okay, I want them to have a different kind of ending, like a good ending. But what the fuck does a good ending can be with like a genre character? Do that. So that's kind of like the solution I came to. Precisely because I guess I lived through stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe it's just my experience, but
Yeah. Thank you for answering that question. Now let's to the final question. Oh my god, this took like an hour. Jeez, a lot of editing I gotta do, huh? Anyways, so, this is the final question. What is your message to any aspiring game directors?
I'm not sure. I feel like I'm not in a position yet to give like a message. But if I could give something is, I guess the basics, just continue doing what you're doing. It's complicated. Just inform yourself a lot about what you actually need to do. I feel like I'm not yet in a position to give any advice. Just keep going and appreciate the people who work with you. That's like an actual advice. Just appreciate the people that are giving you their time of life, because time is the most important thing. Over money, over stuff. Time and experiences are the most important thing you have in this life. So value those and value the ones of the people around you. That's about it, I guess.
That was beautiful, bro. Very, very, very good message. Okay, well,
Thank you.
those are all the questions. Thank you so much for your time. And for the people who are watching this video, thank you so much for watching the second part of me interviewing Sophie. You can follow...
I like interviews.
Yes, she loves getting asked questions. And I love asking questions because I like hearing my own voice. Anyways, if you guys want to follow the development of Heartstrings, a Yandere story, you can go over to her channel. And if you want to support her financially, she has a Ko-fi and what's it called, a VGen? That's the thing that's called, right?
Yeah, Vision
Yeah.
for commissions.
So I will link all of that in the description and the pinned comment. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for everyone who submitted their questions as well. If you didn't get picked, I kind of just did an eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm not gonna hold it to you. It's nothing personal, trust. But yeah, on that note, I will see you guys later. And again, thank you so much, Sophie, for all your time. And yeah, that's it. Oh my god. Alright, subscribe to her. Subscribe to me. Like my video. Like her videos.
Hype.
Yes, hype.
Where's the hype one?
Hype points. For some reason, that's a mechanic. Hype
Hey.
this video up now, please. Okay, bye.